Savoy cabbage, pancetta, potatoes and cheese. Good morning everyone, I am Francesca Guastella, and I work with pasta and traditional Italian dishes. In this class, we will be preparing a white lasagna, featuring pancetta, and sautéed Savoy cabbage, leeks, and potatoes. So, we will have vegetables that are both stewed and crunchy, with some parts that are almost melting. We will create a Béchamel using Bitto cheese, and our pasta will be green due to spinach. I have everything needed right here. Although there are numerous ingredients, there's no need to worry. For our dough, we will need eggs, small spinach leaves, please ensure they are small with minimal stems, and type 00 flour. For our bechamel sauce, we will require milk, butter, flour, nutmeg, and Bitto cheese. For the sautéed vegetables, we will use pancetta, Savoy cabbage, leeks, and potatoes that I have already cubed. Additionally, we will need Bitto cheese and parmesan to sprinkle inside our lasagna. Let's get to work and start with the dough. You can definitely do it by hand, and you can also use spinach that has been cooked. In my opinion, the quickest way is to combine the eggs with uncooked spinach and then incorporate them into the stand mixer. The said method proves efficient. So let's take our dark yolk eggs. We will place them in the cup of the immersion blender to blend. This is a classic Emilian pasta sheet, meaning we use 1 egg for every 100 grams of flour. However, we've taken out 1 egg and will substitute it with an equal weight of spinach. We blend our fresh spinach in the blender until smooth to obtain the desired consistency. How long should we blend? It depends on what you want in your dough. If you desire a dough that is incredibly consistent in both color and texture, or if you prefer to have noticeable specks of spinach leaves throughout, the amount of vegetables we will incorporate into our fresh egg pasta will be expressed as a percentage. Regardless of whether we choose spinach, beets, or any other vegetable, our intention is to use them for their coloring purposes, and it must always be 20% of the weight of the liquid. We add all the spinach, continue blending, and then we can start making our fresh egg pasta sheet stand mixer, hook. Let's go with our flour. Now we'll add the eggs along with the spinach. Now, we proceed. We allow the dough to mix thoroughly until well combined. Then we cover it and let it rest for half an hour at room temperature before rolling it out. This is the consistency it should have. It will definitely be softer than a dough without spinach. Thus, we prepare a traditional egg pasta, since we also have a significant portion of vegetable fiber from the vegetables. We cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest. As the lasagna sheet rests, we move on to preparing the filling for our beautiful lasagna. Next, we will start by sautéing the vegetables, followed by a gentle simmering process. Lastly, we will prepare the bechamel sauce. For the vegetables, we start by slowly melting the fat from our pancetta, a wonderful cured meat which we have already cut into strips, with a drizzle of oil. So, add some olive oil in a saucepan, and in goes the pancetta. We let it brown well, then proceed with the potatoes, leeks, and finally the Savoy cabbage. The pancetta begins to sizzle, allowing the fat to melt slightly and providing flavor. Next, we add the potatoes, as they require a longer cooking time. Let's go in with the potatoes. We allow these to brown a little more, then decrease the temperature and incorporate leeks and Savoy cabbage. Now we will season our potatoes with salt, but remember that cured meats have salt in them. Therefore, I recommend being a bit cautious with the salt, and once the filling is ready, taste it, and adjust the seasoning as needed. Alright, now we can proceed with the leeks. And in a few minutes we can also add the Savoy cabbage. The cabbage has been sliced into very thin strips for this dish. Now we cover it and let it cook for about 10 minutes, or a quarter of an hour. If necessary, we add a splash of water. We will start preparing our bechamel sauce. I prefer to use cold milk, so we will mix it directly from cold, along with the butter and flour. We will melt the butter and add some nutmeg to it, as it warms up and melts properly, to completely open up the spices' aromas, and taste them in our recipe. After the butter is melted, we proceed by adding the flour to form what's known as a roux within the culinary world, which serves as a primary ingredient for thickening the sauce, and afterwards we will gradually incorporate the cold milk. The butter is melted, and it starts to foam. Flour. Prevent the bechamel from tasting like raw flour by ensuring that the flour is cooked thoroughly. Alright. When you smell the toasted flour, we remove it from the heat. And we will slowly add the milk. By starting with cold milk, we greatly reduce the chances of having lumps in our bechamel sauce. To complete the process, reheat the mixture and stir it with a whisk, until it thickly coats the back of the spoon, ensuring continuous stirring. Our bechamel is ready. Let's see if it clings to the spoon properly. Now, let's incorporate some of the Bitto cheese that we previously grated into the mixture. As you can see, the bechamel is fluid because we have potatoes and vegetables in the lasagna. If we kept it too thick, the final result would be a little bit heavy and unpleasant. We whisk the bechamel sauce and set it aside until we need to use it later. Here it is, nice and smooth. Now, I recommend tasting it and adjusting the salt as needed. In the meantime, our vegetables are ready. Soft, tender, and well cooked. Next, we will roll out the dough and continue with our lasagna preparation. I use a machine to roll it out, but you can do it by hand if you prefer. We help ourselves with some flour to keep it from sticking. Now we will roll it out, gradually reducing the thickness of the dough. We aim for thin sheets, ideally 1 to 2 mm in thickness. While preparations are underway, we will simultaneously bring a generous amount of salted water to a boil, in order to blanch the sheets once they have been rolled out. We rolled out our fresh pasta sheets, and now we will cook them for a minute in salted boiling water. After that, we will cool them immediately in ice water to halt the cooking process. As you can see, I have cut them into a convenient size to make them easier to work with. I notice a lot of people cut the dough to fit the size of the pan, but it's not needed. We prefer working with smaller sheets. We help ourselves with a spider strainer, moving them in the water and letting them simmer for about a minute. As you can see, by using fresh spinach, the color of the dough will be a vibrant green. Now we will cook all our sheets, and then we will be ready to put the lasagna together. We have all the ingredients ready to make our beautiful lasagna. We have our fresh pasta sheets, our bechamel sauce with nutmeg and Bitto cheese, our sautéed vegetables with pancetta, and some additional Bitto and Parmesan cheese. Let's begin to put it together. We start with a first layer of bechamel at the bottom of the baking dish. It will help prevent the dough from sticking. Now we will line the baking dish with our vibrant green dough. I like to go a bit over the edges of the baking dish. Now, we add more bechamel sauce. Vegetables. We will distribute them generously and evenly, like I'm doing. Bitto cheese. And Parmesan cheese. Let's keep layering. If the sheets happen to break, as happened to me, it's not a problem because we will continue to make our layers. So we can proceed calmly, don't worry about that. Let's attempt to bring the torn edges closer, and we can proceed without any concerns. This is the final layer. Let's add a little extra cheese for good measure. Now I reveal a secret to make an incredibly crispy lasagna. Now we take another fresh pasta sheet, slightly tear it in smaller pieces, and place it on the surface of our beautiful lasagna. Then we will sprinkle it with little bits of butter, and in the oven, they will turn into crispy bites to be taken off with a bit of toppinga. Before enjoying the lasagna, all that's left is to sprinkle our lasagna with butter bits and put it in the oven. We're all set. Let's put it in the oven at 200 degrees C for 40 minutes. Our lasagna is ready, as you can see. It's beautiful to serve just like this. With its crispy surface, the sautéed vegetables and pancetta are peeking out from under these crispy bits. Allow the lasagna to cool for a while before slicing it, just like you typically would. Patience is key in achieving the best results. Our lasagna has everything. The crispy layer that I encourage you to tear off with your hands. And we also have savory pancetta, creamy Bitto cheese, and the sweetness of the gently cooked vegetables. In short, it's amazing. You have to try it.